What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. We don't always do it, but when I do, but when you do, but we do. We do it big. We try our best to do it well at a high level. Learning how to do not all things right, but doing the right things right with good intention and hopes to connect with one another and build. Recently, I had a minor injury. It wasn't nothing crazy, but this injury led me to a video that I think really shifted my mindset. And I'll make sure I link the video in the description. But in this video, they're talking about the secrets of scaling. And Myron and Ben are having this discussion about how to scale. Like, the video is just about how to scale, but the secrets, the ins and outs of how to scale. Although they're talking about business, I took it as a personal thing for myself because I'm in this space where I was just trying to do everything right at a high level. It forced me to have to sit and have to reevaluate. There's this point in the video where Ben is explaining that there are people who think from a past tense perspective and there are people who think from a future tense perspective. Both of them are tools, but one of them just works better. And so he's expressing that working from a future tense perspective is pretty much how you scale. And he goes and dives deep into it, expressing that if you think from a future tense perspective, you'll yield the results faster. That's the key to getting to the thing quicker because it requires you to focus on said thing to get to said thing. Working from a past tense perspective, you try to do everything at a high level and then you're limited in that space. And so I just reflected to how he said that to my personal life at the time. I was trying to just do everything at a high level. If it wasn't at that level, it just didn't happen. And so overtrain or nothing at all. That's super imbalanced. There's no balance in that. I came here to say today, try your best to think from a future perspective because the version of yourself that you're trying to get to, you should already act as if you're that person to make the better decision today. And so an example is, I don't want to go for a walk today, but the future you has the body that you want. So in order to see and live in that person, do the thing now because it changes everything now. There's going to be a resistance that you run into. All that resistance is fair. All that resistance is past events that you've been through. But we're not working from that space anymore. We're not holding on to that thing, and it is tough depending on what we've been through, depending on what we, seen, what we heard, what we were told, and how long we've been doing that thing. It requires a ton of effort, a ton of work that needs to be done to even let go of it. And all I'm saying to you today is let go of the thing so that way we can work on getting to the next thing. And for a lot of us, that's the thing that's holding us back. We're thinking from where we used to be, and we're not there anymore. We're holding on to the thing, and it's dead weight. And I just hope and pray that, we could finally let go of the thing that we've been holding on to and carrying that just doesn't need us anymore. And there was something in the video that he mentioned. He said, all the past is in your head. Because after today, what is it? And that just blew my mind because that's all it really is. The past is all in our head. Everything that we think that we've been through, it's just not there anymore. And I say that very lightly because we're not all in the same position. In order to get to where you want to be, you have to let go of who you used to be. And your future self will never think like that. Your future self will never talk like that. Your future self will never be like that because that's the best version of yourself. So when you think from that perspective and trying to navigate through things, you scale. You just scale. Whether it's from a business perspective or a personal perspective, scaling is a win. And so you have to raise the floor so that way we never think here anymore. In this process of this injury, icing and elevating, I just thought from my future self, when I get back into this running and going to the gym, how would my future self approach this? And so I took notes of how I think I would think in the future. I could see myself doing this, doing that, doing that. But how am I going to have more of a balance? What does my future self look? How are we going to do this thing? When successful people say success is easier than you think, it still sounds crazy, but it's not as crazy, because if you're thinking from a future's perspective and that person is the successful one, then you can create the success, because you're only thinking about the things that need to be thought about. Everything else is just noise. When you're getting into things and it feels like it's getting unhealthy, let your future self catch you, because they'll probably make the better decision so that you have the better results. And so you now are only getting closer to the future you, because you're thinking from that perspective. And so therefore, every step of the way, you'll just be living in who you're already becoming. So good. That is so good.